Welcome, everyone. First order of business is approval of minutes. We have the minutes of October 22nd, 2025, the regular meeting.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Also, we have minutes to approve executive session minutes on October 22nd.
Motion made with appropriate section of Rhode Island State law.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, we have no correspondence. Item number 5, public comments. We have one individual who has signed up, Mr. Caradillo. Come to the microphone, please. You're allowed 5 minutes.
Chairman Plata.
Hit the red button.
Thank you. Chairman Plata, members of the school committee, Superintendent Goho, your Title IX policy is airtight and spot on, as you probably know. Unfortunately, your transgender, gender nonconforming, transitioning students protocol is in direct violation of your Title IX policy. Let me explain. Back in March, the Rhode Island Interscholastic League, understanding that its policy of allowing boys to compete on girls' teams and against girls and vice versa violated federal law in Title IX, pivoted in a seismic way. In order to protect its own behind, in my view, at the direction of our Attorney General and the Education Commissioner, it kicked the can down the road to the districts, and in particular to the building principals of our middle and high schools in the state of Rhode Island, whose athletic programs the Rhode Island Interscholastic League sanctions, making it their responsibility, the principals, to determine who played on which team and in which sport. Twice in the 2004 season, on September 20th and October 7th, the North Providence girls soccer team played 2 games against Moses Brown, when Moses Brown played with a biological boy on their team. Happened to Westerly too, and other schools. Placing North Providence's girls in an unfair, unsafe, and unlawful situation. I have no idea who knew about this beforehand, afterward, or at all. No idea. But you need to know, and the parents need to know. Both games ended in ties, 0-0 and 1-1. Under RIL's policies, under Article 2, Section 3, B5, schools are responsible for the health, welfare, and safety of all athletes at home, away, or at tournament games. And under Section 3B, proof and maintenance of eligibility is the exclusive and continuing obligation of the member principal. The principal has the obligation to come forward with all evidence and testimony necessary for the establishment or maintenance of eligibility. Under Article 3, Section 3, female competition, member schools are responsible for ensuring compliance with all applicable state and federal laws when determining gender-based eligibility for participation. There is no state law mandating boys identifying as girls be allowed to compete versus girls athletically and vice versa. There is, however, Title IX, a federal law since 1972 which bans discrimination based on sex, which boys competing on a girls' team and against girls clearly is. In order that the North Providence Public Schools be in total compliance with Title IX, your current trans protocol must be stricken with the following placed in either your anti-bullying policy, the student parent handbook, or both. Now I'm just going to talk about RIL. I'm not going to talk about bathrooms and stuff like that right now. Relative to RIL athletic competition, no North Providence middle school or high school team will be comprised of both biological boys and biological girls unless it is so advertised and designated as a co-ed team. Second, North Providence Middle and High Schools will have separate athletic teams for biological boys and biological girls. Third, for safety and fairness reasons, no North Providence Middle School or High School biological female team will compete against any team having a biological male as a member. And fourthly, for safety and fairness reasons, no North Providence Middle or High School biological female athlete will compete against any individual, who is a biological male. You may say that there have been no problems with the current policy in our school. To that I say good, but it did happen in 2024. No fault of people here, but it did happen. The current trans protocol both allows this to occur while going against your own Title IX policy in the federal government, federal law, which is a violation. North Providence is a community and always has been, based on family, God, truth, common sense. Always has been that way. I remember we used to play against you guys when I was in high school 100 years ago. Your current trans protocol conforms with none of those values. Overall, this is a very good school committee. I've spoken in front of all of them, and this is one of the best. And you have an outstanding superintendent here, as you know, but you must do the right thing for all kids. We simply cannot allow our kids, especially our girls, to be placed in unsafe, uncomfortable, unlawful, and unfair positions, be it in athletics, bathrooms, locker rooms, changing areas, or hotel rooms on field trips. Nor can we continue to violate the First Amendment rights of teachers and staff by mandated use of pronouns. Change this protocol for the betterment of all and comply with the law. And I am happy to discuss this with anyone on the committee at any time. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your input. We'll go back to item number 4. We do have correspondence from the mayor regarding the mayor's holiday party ad. I believe last year we took out a half-page ad. I would recommend that we do that again. The committee's in favor of that without objection. Any objection? So we'll notify the mayor that we'll take out a half-page ad in his holiday party ad book. Number 6, consent agenda.
Motion made to approve as presented.
Second. Any questions on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Pilata. So at this time, North Providence Public Schools is proud to share that our very own Mrs. Melissa Caffrey, Director of Multiple Pathways, has been selected for the 2025-2026 Project Lead the Way Outstanding Administrator Recognition, one of only 9 administrators nationwide to receive this honor. Project Lead the Way describes this award as recognition for leaders who create transformative, student-centered learning experiences. This achievement reflects Mrs. Caffrey's dedication to expanding opportunities at North Providence High School and throughout our district, and her commitment to meaningful, engaging education in her students who participate in the pathways which she and her team develop. Under her leadership, North Providence High School has strengthened its Project Lead the Way biomedical and pre-engineering pathways, giving students valuable hands-on, real-world learning experiences. Tonight, the school committee has a recognition for Mrs. Caffrey, so please join us in congratulating her, welcoming her up to the front for this remarkable accomplishment. North Providence High School is proud for all she has done and continues to do for our students and our school community. Mrs. Caffrey, come on up.
Why don't you just take a seat over here? I can't let this go by without saying a few words. Thank you, Mr. Goho, for that. I read the CTE Pathways mission statement. And the sentence that caught my attention was, and I quote, "The North Providence High School CTE Pathways program serves as a catalyst of change where students become self-directed learners in a personalized learning environment." The phrase that intrigued me the most was catalyst for change. What is a catalyst, and what is the definition of a catalyst? Well, it's a person who takes in a lot of information, sees infinite possibilities, and can't stop themselves from moving in action. Infinite possibilities. This is exactly what the CTE program provides for North Providence High School students. Mrs. Caffrey, with her school staff, along with the mentors and industrial partners, are the catalysts that inspire currently over 500 students every day to achieve success in their chosen pathway. Mrs. Caffrey is being honored for her administrative leadership. However, you cannot become a great leader without a great staff, a great administration, and most of all, great students. Collectively, they create what's called the 5 C's: collaboration, consensus, capacity, coaching, and culture. The CTE Pathways program provides hundreds of students with programs where infinite possibilities are available to the student body. The Pathways program began 9 years ago with an enrollment of 40 students. Today, there are currently 538 students enrolled in the Pathways program. So once again, on behalf of the school committee and the entire educational community, we congratulate you, Mrs. Caffrey, Melissa, for being an exemplary administrator and educator. And we applaud your recognition upon receiving this prestigious award as Outstanding Administrator under Project Lead the Way. And I think Mr. Goho mentioned it, that there were only 9 of these awards given out across the country. And that's quite an achievement. You should be very proud of that. I know we all are here. In closing, I'd just like to read a very appropriate quote, which I think is applicable to the award that Mrs. Caffrey has received. And it's from a great American scholar, Mr. Bennis. And the quote is, "Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into a reality." The CET program has become a reality for the students at North Providence High School, and the vision is there. So once again, thank you, Mrs. Caffrey. I will read the citation, which we will present to you on behalf of the school committee. It's a school committee citation. "Be it hereby known to all that the North Providence School Committee hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Melissa Caffrey for receiving the Project Lead the Way Award for Outstanding Administrator Award. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success. Proposed this 19th day of November 2025, signed by myself and Mr. Goho." Congratulations, Melissa. You're welcome to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I share this award with the entire community of North Providence. I've lived in North Providence for 52 years, so now you know my age. I graduated from this high school in 1991, and this is my 29th year as an educator and 9 years as the Pathways Director. I could not have received this award without the immense support that I have been given over the years. This award is just not for me. It is for everyone that is part of the North Providence community. Some of my greatest mentors are sitting in this room with me, and I have learned so much from each and every one of you. And I was always taught that when you make choices, you always have to make choices in the best interest of students. And that has always been front and center for me. I want to thank Corinne Gelinas, who actually nominated me for this award. She's my pre-engineering instructor in the pathway. I have the most amazing and supportive and encouraging leadership team at the high school. Thank you all for coming out here to support me and honor me in this award. But this award, too, is for the teachers. The teachers are in the trenches every single day. They are the ones that are responsible for teaching the students, instructing the students, and assessing the students. And for the 8 pathways that we do have, I've never once had to ask a teacher to be part of the pathway. They always came forward and said, I want to be a part of this team. And for that, I'm forever grateful and I'm blessed. And we have the most amazing students at North Providence High School and in the entire community. To be able to help them cultivate their passions and their interest is such a joy to me. I genuinely love getting up every day and coming to work. This is the most amazing position. I work with the most amazing people, and I just love the North Providence community. So thank you very much. Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, yes, of course. So I thank the entire school committee, Arthur Corsini, Christy, Ben, Dr. Pilata, Superintendent Goho, Mr. De Silva, Mr. Narado, Mr. Mariuenzi, Norma Jean, Central Office.
Well, one note here, by the way, you talk about choices. So one funny story, we know this is true. I remember taking the trek up to the 3rd floor to your office where you were an outstanding social studies teacher and department chair. And we talked about we need a CTE director. There's not many out there. You should really consider this. And your first question to me was, what does CTE stand for? And here you are receiving a national award. So that says it all right there.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, I would ask Phil Conti, our architect from Studio Jade, to please come to the podium. We have a submission that needs to be submitted to the Rhode Island Department of Education for ongoing construction work that'll take place hopefully this summer. The school building committee voted yesterday to recommend approval by the school committee tonight. So Mr. Conti is here with a brief presentation, and then we'll need a school committee vote.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. A very brief update. I'll indicate some of the scope of work that has changed from the last time that we've talked about this project. What we decided to include in this process submission to RIDE is the replacement of the skylights that are above your head in this room, in the lobby, and over in the gallery. Replacing them certainly will improve the thermal performance of the space. It will also reintroduce natural light into the areas. We're going to be creative in our bidding and procurement process so that we can identify each one of these as a separate cost. We want to maximize the money that we have available. In terms of priorities, the window systems in the gymnasium are first priority, as well as some of the older windows in the building, and then, of course, these skylights. So we want to make our submission to RIDE for their approval Chalmette will be beginning the bidding and procurement process so that we can maximize the funding that we have remaining. What I have included in the packet are just a series of technical drawings that we would be submitting for this approval to RIDE. And I'm just quickly going through them. We have captured all of the windows. Now, it is unlikely, very unlikely, that you're going to be replacing everything. But we want to give you as much opportunity as possible, certainly to stay within the funding that's available. And as the superintendent mentioned, we want to wrap up the bidding and procurement over the winter, order the windows and any of the materials so that we could have a spring-summer construction. And that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Anyone have any questions, comments? Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Need a motion now?
Motion made to accept the report. And
All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Conti. The next item on the agenda is our public presentation of the recently reported state assessments by Mrs. Seitzinger, joined by Ms. Van Avery. At this point, the public and the committee is very well aware of the results. They've been published in the Breeze, but we thought it would be appropriate to bring you a very brief overview to inform you as to where we stand with RIDECAS and PSATs and SATs. Mrs. Seitzinger.
Apologize, I didn't realize the mic was on. Thank you, Superintendent Goho and members of the school committee. Good evening. I just wanted to point out, this is a brief presentation, but the full presentation, if you're interested in all of the data, is linked to that front slide where it says full presentation. But with that, we're going to continue. So our results from this year were very similar to last year's results for RIDECAS, for ELA, 31% meeting or exceeding, and math, 21% meeting or exceeding, and you can see the state there. Next one. And then just to show you some highlights as far as some of our individual school data, some highlights from different schools. For example, Centerdale's math improving 11%, Greystone ELA 3%, and then down to McGuire math 8% increase, and Stephen only 3%. So those are some highlights. And then the light neutral color means that it was about the same, negligible, 1 to 3%, and then the other changes you can see there. This slide just, again, highlights the grade levels. And again, different cohorts of children, obviously, but you can see that increases there in terms of the grades. Next. And this is our accountability data. So this is the general, from the website, just the general accountability page showing our whole district. So the ratings are from 1 to 5. So it shows you the points earned in each area from achievement, science, growth, and ELA and math, ELL, English language proficiency, the graduation rate, and so forth. So the good news is that all of our schools, none of the schools at ATSI, they're not for subgroups. They're not in that advanced targeted support intervention group. And we have some schools that are still in that targeted support and improvement group, but not as many as we had, I would say, a couple of years ago. So overall, our average performance in 2025 is, a mid-range average. But we're going to be focusing, of course, on strengthening in math achievement, continuing that, and in ELA. We're going to continue to close equity gaps, in terms of our vulnerable groups, in terms of special needs students and our multilingual learners. And then something they just mentioned at the high school was the commissioner's seal of for proficiency in ELA and math. So we're going to be working on that. So the next slide just shows you, again, the differences and what stayed the same. Most of the schools stayed the same, but we did eliminate 5 areas of TSI from the previous year. For example, Centerdale eliminated ELL achievement for their subgroup, which was in TSI, the targeted support, and students with disabilities. And then if we go down to McGuire, they eliminated English learners for achievement. And then we go down to Stephen only. They eliminated the TSI area for students with disabilities for achievement and growth. And then Birchwood eliminated the students with disabilities for achievement and growth. So with that, that's very positive, and we want to highlight that, and also the fact that Ritchie went from a 2-star to a 3-star school. And then we're going to be continuing to address all of these needs and action plans through our strategic plan for the district, and also through school improvement plans. And then I know the next slide is the urban ring district, so I know people are interested in that. You know, out of the 7 schools that are urban ring, our overall performance is the second highest in ELA, which is very positive, and the highest performing for PSAT 10. So sharing that. And the next one is math. So overall, again, performance is in the mid-range, and the highest performing for SATs and PSATs. So that's quite, commendable for our district. I'm really proud of that.
So the blue is North Providence?
The blue is North Providence.
Amongst the urban rings. So
Yep.
we were the highest in PSAT and SAT amongst
That's
the
correct.
urban ring.
That's correct. Among those 7 districts. Okay, yeah, very positive. So the next slide just goes over a couple of subgroups, our MLL and special education. So I'm going to let Ms. Van Avery speak to the special education subgroup, and then I'll speak a little bit about MLL, and then the further report at the bottom to that's linked.
Yeah, and just briefly in terms of our students who are differently abled, what you can't see on that number, right, as you're looking at that, is that our students with disabilities are outpacing their counterparts in growth metrics. So we, as we talked about the ATSI and the TSI status, we are doing a phenomenal job of growing. So over the last 2 years, the interventions and the work that we're doing is really highlighting their growth. And we're looking forward to seeing how they perform again this year, and seeing how the work that everybody is doing is really changing their group.
Yeah, and just the collaboration between general and special ed, I think, is really important to note that we're really working together as a group. It's not just us versus them. It's a collaborative effort. And then just to point out a few things for our MLL population, just to show the growth there. We've grown from 398 students a couple of years ago. We now have 427 students. And then our participation rate is always higher than the state. Our average sales scale score has gone from 321 a couple of years ago to 331, which is very positive. And those students in the expanding area, which is cross-disciplinary language, we saw an increase from 17.8% a couple of years ago to 22.5%, which is 23%. And then in the blue area, which is bridging, that technical language, we went from 4% a couple of years ago to now 5%. So we're seeing more students exiting the program. For example, a couple of years ago, again, 19 students exiting, and now we've exited 36 students this past year. So we're continuing to see that MLL proficiency and growth go up in all those stages on the access test. And then this shows you the science performance on the Rhode Island Science Assessment. So we did go down about 5%, and again, different cohorts of students, but showing by grade the different proficiencies. Grade 5, 24%, grade 8, 23%, and 31% at grade 11. I do want to point out that the high school is piloting the only high quality rated program curriculum, which is Open SciEd, and they started piloting that this year. So we're looking forward to some improvements there too. And then on the next slide, just showing you again the school results, showing the improvements across the schools. Centerdale going up 10%, and then McGuire 4%. So again, different cohorts of students, but just to show you some increases. And then the SAT scores, we had an increase of 1% in math, and in English reading and writing, an increase of 2%. But the good news is that we didn't go down, and so it remained solid and steady, which is good. And then 98% participation rate, which is very positive. And then PSAT increase of 8% in math, which is quite impressive, and quite a lot of growth there. And English reading, writing, just a decrease in 5% there. And that's it. We have a lot of great plans and actions, which you'll see in the full presentation. If you would like to ask me any questions about that another time, please do. But we're all working hard at every school level and certainly at the district level together. I just met with the math district committee yesterday, looking at all of our data, and we have some great plans in place, including the interventions that Ms. Van Avery mentioned, and really hard work, but we're hoping the trend continues to go up.
Thank you for that report. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you. Nice job. Item number 8, we have no school committee requests. Item number 9, we have no old business. Item number 10, new business. Mr. Goho,
Yes, I would request approval by the committee for the enclosed retirement and separation agreement for a non-certified employee.
Motion made to approve.
any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, I would request approval by the committee for the local 1033 MOA as submitted.
Motion made.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, I would request approval of the enclosed MOA to be used for CTE pathways and partners.
Motion made to approve the MOU for CTE pathways.
Any questions on that MOU? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll take items D through G, which are policies, without objection, as one motion, and anyone can ask any questions relative to any of the policies.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion made and a second. Any questions on any of the policies? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H.
Item H, I would request approval of the North Providence High School Winter Bowl Roads on the Patuxent agreement for December 12th, 2025.
Motion made to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Last item, I would request approval for the removal of obsolete textbooks from North Providence High School according to the list submitted.
Motion made.
Any questions on the textbooks? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11, approval of bills.
Motion made to approve the bills as presented.
Any questions on the bills?
Just a comment. I don't think I made one in
Mr.
a couple
DeSilva.
of months. I don't think I made a comment in a couple of months, but thank you so much for the organization and the clarity with which you present to us every single month. That, I told Laurie I'd take care of that last night, but no, I'm kidding.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, use of property requests.
Motion made to approve as presented.
Any questions on use of property? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13, we have no one to address the committee. We have no pending business. Item number 15, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?